Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Joseph. In today's tutorial I'll be covering for loops and arrays and why they're so powerful in Gamemaker and in any game development. So, I've got one of my own projects up here that I'm creating in the background. I'm just going to show you what I'm getting at. So, I was working through, and I'm hoping this isn't my, no, beautiful. So I was working through a function for these walls here I was developing where it allows a drop down, as you can see. So the way that operates, and I'll show you, is in my wall set, wherever it is, I'm being totally blind right now, wall object, my walls actually operate off of this lovely, huge for loop. And what it does is it references an array. And the reason this is so powerful is it basically means I can set up all my presets inside my array functions. And then I can have it animate in any way I want it to. So, let's do this in Gamemaker 2, because Gamemaker 1 is a bit older. And I do have one of these in Gamemaker 1. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a sprite really quickly, and you're going to watch me fight with the new Gamemaker because I'm not a terribly huge fan of it. And I'm just going to draw a couple, oops, if I can draw it correctly, a couple of circles, that's good enough. I'm going to color this one white, I'm going to add another one, let's make a red one, and I'll make a blue one. So, normally in Gamemaker, let's say I wanted to draw an object multiple times on multiple spots. There's a few ways we can handle this. So, also don't forget to center your objects, if that's part of the function you're looking for. So under here, if I was to go objects, create an object, let's go create. So I could go var array, oh, no, sorry, I should name it correctly, sprite array, bracket 0 is equal to 0. And this should actually be called sprite index. So like so, I can create 3 array sets. So an array is like a bucket. We can hold multiple values in there. And I'm going to hold array 1, 2, and... 0, 1, 2. So this is going to reference the index in the sprite there. And then what I can do is I can go draw sprite. Oh, no. Var sprite. And I can actually store my sprite value, which is somewhere around here. I should be able to. Like I said, this is not my preferred Gamemaker. Like so. So I've got 2 sets here. So I've got my sprite, which... Okay, yep, that's fine. So I've got my first set there. And then what I could do is if I go draw, I could go draw sprite, like so, var sprite, and then what was my array? So if I take array 0, like so, at x and y. If I'm not missing any functions. No, beautiful. And then if I create a new room in Gamemaker, like so. Oh, that's right, I've got to do... Oh no, I've got to do it that way. Make sure I've got the instance layer selected, isn't it? Oh, that's because I'm dragging the wrong object. Beautiful. And let's change the background color to the classic Gamemaker gray. So if I do that, that's just going to draw the white dot right on the spot there. So you're going to be saying, what's the point of this so far? Well, in the array, I can do this. So if I vary that to 1 as an example, it will change to red. And if I vary that to 2, it will change to blue. And if I vary it any further, I'll get a out of bounds error. So this is the first little tool we can use. That's kind of useful. The other thing I can do, so if I go like this, var x, now I just always preface all my arrays with the word array, 0, and I will say 30. I'm going to want 3 of those, and I'm going to want 3 y's. So I'm just quickly throwing out 3 y values and 3 x values. And what we will do is let's create a, and let's see if I don't get my code confused, random range 0 to room width. So if I take these, so that's just going to create a random value between the end of the room and 0 for each of these x values. And we're going to do the same thing for room height. Oop. If it behaves. Room height. Oop. I should fix that error. Oop, and that's missing the bracket apparently. So, oh, come on. Thank you. Okay, so that's just going to generate us some random values. Now, again, you're going to be saying that, well, there's not much point to what I'm doing here. Well, if I do this, so now we've got 2 random x and y coordinates, and we're drawing it all basically by an array set. So I can also set sprites in arrays as well, so we can actually get quite fancy here. So you'll see we've got the blue dots over there. If I rerun it, provided that Gamemaker fixed its seed generator, I suspect not. This isn't part of it, this is just me fixing the random generation issue. I'll just run, so repeat is just a function that lets you repeat a call multiple times. So in theory, that will just let us fix the random seed issue. Beautiful. By allowing it to re-roll itself 50 times before the game starts. Although it looks like they've really not fixed that seeding problem. So that was pointless. Okay, so let's back to the tutorial real quick. Oh, this is something that drives me nuts about good old modern Gamemaker. So here, you're going to see that I have my draw function, and I've got an array set. So what I can do now is, if I want to draw all my dots, so normally if I wanted to draw all of these, the normal person would do this, wouldn't they? We would draw like this, would literally copy and paste one by one down our sequence line, like so, and basically create each of our instances. I would ask why do it the hard way. So you can see there we get our dots. But what if we can do something smarter? So the other function in Gamemaker that's super useful is called for. And then what we'll do is we'll go I. Now, just as a note, if you see me using I, you can use any letter you want. So just to make it different, I'm going to use the letter P. P will be equal to 0. P needs to be less than or equal to, and I'm going to use a reference here. So we're going to call array height, and then I'm going to reference the sprite index and -1, because it will always add 1 extra to index. And then I'm going to go P++, which means to add 1, close bracket, close bracket, close bracket. And provided I've done that right, which it looks to be right, it's not going to do a whole lot other than draw one dot. And the reason for that is that now is going to go running through the loop of all the array possibilities and basically increment p. So if I go here and change these zeros to p's, they're now represented by p. So now, instead of needing to draw 3 dots, I can use one array set to draw 3 dots. And for example, if I wanted to do more, so as a simple example, I could do another 3 there and another 3 there. So I've used this in the past to generate stars, for example, is a good simple way to use it. So you've got to make sure you always mirror your size, otherwise you'll break your array, and that will be a pretty simple one to work out when you break it, because you'll get a out of bounds error. So there, this is interesting because this should most likely break, and we should see it break. Ooh, they've oh no, it won't break because I'm referencing 1. So let's say we've got this problem here, where we're wanting the, oh no, because I've, yeah, so the issue here is because the array is referenced off this index array, which is fine because it allows for redundancy. So if I do this, and now I go random range, this should help me generate some just background items. Now you can do this with other tooling as well. It's pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just going to go from 1 to 2. And if you want it to be super fancy, you could actually grab the sprite value, I'm pretty sure. So if we want, well, we'll run this first and I'll explain that, and then that will be the end of this tutorial because it's getting a bit long. So you can see there we've generated some dots. But if we wanted to get a little bit more fancy, I should be able to go sprite get, and it should be either sub, it will either be sub image or index. Ooh, or maybe they got rid of it. There used to be an old way to reference the sprite and then actually get values off the sprite. Let me just try this. Get. No, there's no fancy way to do that right now. So basically, this should randomize you then a bunch of different objects. And as you can see, it looks like we've got a bit of a broken issue here as it is, because we're not getting any returns. This could break it, FYI. So that's today's tutorial. Nice, simple little thing. Nothing over the top, but it shows you the uses of arrays. The arrays using for draw functions. Because this is quite efficient as well in programming, because we're not needing to randomly draw out these many values. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Again, your interaction with the channel is massively appreciated. You guys are amazing. Stay safe. And if you've got anything that you'd like to see, ask, and I'll see what I can do about creating it. I am going to start creating some stuff into Gamemaker 2 as some requests from some of my users. And any other stuff that you want to see, ask me and I'll see what I can do. I do check the channel regularly to make sure I can keep on top of any comments. Have a great day and I'll see you guys later.